Hey Chandler, this is Keaton Everett with ABC, going over your pitching video from camp. I'm going to go through and talk a little bit about your mechanics and break it down sort of frame by frame and look at a couple key spots. We're going to look at sort of your initial start, your foot strike, sort of how your lower half's working, and how you're releasing the ball. You know, basically pitching is so much about your lower half and how we're using those hips and everything. That we're going to talk a little bit about that, especially for you got a good sort of initial start, but you're getting out front a little bit early. You're not sort of maximizing that lower half. So when you get older, you know, we got to sort of get in the habit now. So when you get that strength going, it's going to be something that comes a lot easier. All right. So we'll go through and look at your start here right off the bat. All right. So we're going to look at what your head's doing in relation to sort of your balance point over the rubber. You know, it's good to stay balanced right off the bat. All right, so you can see how initially you have a little lean back. All right, we think about sprinters. Sprinters are in those starting blocks. They already start back. Their first movement's forward. Sort of same thing with pitching. All right, so what we want to try to see is you get in this spot right here first. All right, so I'll mark this down here. So your initial setup, get set up over that back leg. All right, we don't want to see, you know, a lean back with your posture. Still same posture. All it is just your hips. You just want to shift your hips a little bit farther back. All right, so now you're right here on that start. All right, it's an easy fix. That'll help you out a lot. All right, so now what we want to see too is once you get into that leg, the height of that knee kick, which is right here, your knee. All right, looks like it's about, we'll say it's about right here. All right, this is solid. All right, you're staying over your back foot. Your head hasn't gone down. You haven't gone forward too much. All right, so this is a good spot. Now what we want to try to get is these hips to stay closed a little bit more, so we don't need so much rotation with our hip, is we just want to think about lifting our knee. All right, so now that back foot's going to be over that front foot's going to be somewhere over that back foot a little bit. All right, and then that's just the only fix. You're just kind of kicking out right here. You fix that, get that back over your back leg. This is picture perfect. All right. So now at this point, what we want to try to see is your hips go forward first. All right, that's the main engine, the main driving force behind your mechanics. All right, and then we want to see that ball start to come out, and then our foot stay behind our hips. All right, we just want our hips to lead everything. All right, so as we click forward, actually let me draw a box around your hips here. All right, as you go forward here, so you can see that your hips are getting down the box. You're doing pretty good. But you can see how this front foot's sort of coming down and getting out early, and we're not getting a whole lot of movement forward. All right, what we would want to see with our foot's at this sort of that distance right there, that angle there out front, is we'd want to see your body somewhere, you know, down here. All right, so at this point, our back foot's still behind our hip. All right, so now, you know, about right here, you know, now maybe our foot's about to come out. So you're just kind of rotating open a little bit early, and that's just sort of that cause of that sort of that initial kick, foot's leading out there. All right, sort of a easy thing to kind of work on. So now what you're seeing too is because your body's kind of staying back, staying over the rubber a little bit, we kind of always call it staying sluggish over the rubber, is you can see what your arms are doing is they're getting out too far too quick and they're straightening out. All right, we don't want to ever see those arms straighten. You can see that glove starting to peek towards first base and open up. All right, so we don't ever want to get those arms straight. You know, there's a fine line between staying back and staying back too much. So we just kind of find that balance of just trying to get your body, getting that momentum going a little bit sooner, so then we're not curling this glove out too early at our foot strike. So on our foot strike, we'd still want to see that front glove still down, our elbow still up above our glove. All right, so basically, you know, because you're kind of staying back over the rubber here, your arms are getting out too quickly, they're straightening out, and then at foot strike, which is right here, you can see this posture lean. All right, you can see how you're leaning sort of over that front foot. Your stride length is really short. Your knees down over your ankle. You know, mark out a little bit, work on that lower half, work on some extension to a point that, you know, looking like about your height, you could probably get up to about something about right here. All right, now you're back here, you're driving through your legs a lot more, Now you're able to stay back. You know, your head's probably going to be in close to the same position. All right, now you're going to be somewhere back here. That glove out over that front foot. All right, now this is a solid position right here for you. All right, so now you're working on extension. You're getting out front, or you're not getting out front. You're staying back, and this front shoulder's closed right here. That's a big one for you too. All right. A lot of times too, when we're getting in this angle, that's going to sort of create some problems a little bit later on when we're getting real extreme out in front. You know, if you're back a little bit more, wouldn't be too much of an issue. But you can see everything's just rotating at that same time. We're cueing in our hips and our shoulder. They're rotating at the same time. We want to try to see our hips get more in this position and our upper body is still back in this position here. All right, and again, that's your front side. This cueing it off this glove will help you out a lot by keeping that elbow up, not letting this glove sort of kick out behind you. Keep that palm, think about more so your palm staying to the ground instead of popping open early and then kind of swinging back in. So then through your release point, all right, looks like you're probably going to release the ball maybe about right here or so. It's kind of in between frames, so we'll just call this release point right here. All right, you're doing a decent job of getting out front. A lot of times you're going to see kids release the ball back here, so you're doing pretty good. But we just want to try to see more extension with everything. All right, if you're getting out farther down the mound, we're probably going to see a little bit more out over this front foot, you know, somewhere out here, because this glove or this front foot, you know, is probably landing a little bit more out here. So you're just going to get that ball, that body out there. You're going to get that ball releasing a little bit closer, and it's just going to be a lot more powerful for you. All right. So again, it's just sort of that initial setup. You have a really good balance. Now it's just a matter of just getting your body going sooner and farther down the mound, using that extension, using those legs. So we're staying back longer. We're able to use more of that lower half to deliver the ball, generate some powers. All right. So again, it's sort of, you got a good sort of foundation going. Now it's just a matter of using those legs, using that lower half, stride down the mound. You know, mark off 5 or 6 shoe lengths, and that should sort of be your target. Don't try to reach out with your left foot to get it. Just think about drive your hips as far down the mound as you can while staying closed. All right, and also that left side, work on keeping that shoulder above your glove and keeping that glove out over your front foot a little bit longer, and that'll help you keep that left side closed longer, take less pressure off your shoulder, and get you going as you get older and progress and get stronger. So anyways, hopefully you're going to have a great season this year. Thanks again for making it out to camp, and hopefully we'll see you again with ABC.